What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say that one more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability, get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. Today on the program, Kevin Prentice, Hatter's World. What's Kevin Prentice? What's Hatter's World? Well, you're going to find out in the next few minutes. This week's shows, I have one public show this week, my regular Friday night gig at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. It's the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yeah, I said karaoke. You're the star of the show. Come on out to the Rab, Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, I'll wait. I'm waiting. All right, Friday night, 8 p.m. until 1 in the a.m. Full bar, kitchen's open, pool tables. They got a pool tournament Friday nights. Always a good time while you're waiting to sing on stage right next to me in Conway, Arkansas at the Rab. Come on out, 8 p.m. And then that's it. I have podcasts all week long. I appreciate it. Speaking of podcasts, let's get into it with Kevin Prentice. Kevin Prentice, Hatter's World. I have to learn how to enunciate. Use your words, Dan. Use your words. All right, let's Skype Kevin Prentice. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, I encourage you to check out the video version. It's over on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN. Yeah, or just look up RadioWhat.com on YouTube, and you're going to find it right there. All right, let's Skype Kevin Prentice now.
And this way is normal.
I can live like that. We can live with that. I've had to do them like that before. No big deal. Kevin Prentice of the Hatter's World. Welcome to the show, my man. Well, I mean, you sent me a link to watch your movie. I kind of scrubbed through it. I see there's a lot of characters, a lot of action, a lot of, was it like sports and stuff? But I did look at the overview, and, I guess we're here to talk mostly about your movie that's just coming out, Hatter's World, the movie. And then I want to dig into who you are, Kevin Prentice of Hatter's World. Tell the people who you are.
Well, I'm Kevin Prentice. I created Hatter's World. I made a movie. I'm donating part of the proceeds to my brother who suffers from concussions. Let's see what else. I'm the first magician to levitate two people live, and I put that in my movie. That's recorded. My movie is 50% point of view, but you actually get to see what it's like to drive the Batmobile. I boxed an IBF champion. I skated against a Stanley Cup champion. I wrestled the world champion, Tito Santana. I'm serious. You know what it's like getting slammed by Tito Santana? I do. No, so yeah. And let's see what else. I recorded with the gentleman from the Storage Wars, John Luke and Joe P. Very nice man. Awesome. Great scenes. I did historical scenes. And recorded with Mark Leiter. Awesome man. And as well as some other different, cameos coming through there. But I was able to put together a really unique movie with a 50% point of view. I got it connected with a company called Gubba Rum. They're
that guy.
Steve. If you notice in my movie, I have a tendency to wear his outfit. Why? Because I got what they call rum balls. Imagine that. Yeah, I tell you what, it's what happened. It's a magical story about a reporter that comes over my house and make himself at home. And I said, make yourself at home. What happens is he goes and eats my Aunt Alice's brownies. I said, make yourself at home. You don't go eat a man's brownies. So next thing you know, I said, what do you think Alice did? Went down a rabbit hole? No, I said, no, she went down the route. I said, you're screwed. So it becomes a magical journey in my story where I go to a bar and start bouncing from, I start boasting because I get drunk, and I start bouncing from TV show to TV show to go against three pros in three different manners in order to get out of the television land as a you know, it's a great story. I can honestly say I'm the first person that got I can't remember, but the Devils, they gave me permission to use their logo in my movie. How cool is that? I went against Jim Dowd from the Stanley Cup champion, and he's wearing his Devils outfit. I had to write this. The NHL gave me permission to put this in my movie. Like I said, the IBF champion. It's really you get to see from a point of view for $5.55 what it's like to actually climb in a rink or skate against his. Why? Because I thought I can do everything a pro could do. I become a loudmouth.
Yeah, Kevin
Like,
Prentice,
yeah,
man. Like I said, I only got a chance to scrub through the film, and I was wondering if I was watching if I actually saw what I thought I saw. And yeah, it is action packed. All of that, everything that you just said, and more is in this film. Because I said, wait, was that just a Batmobile? Was that wrestling? Was that hockey? Was that? And this is me just kind of skimming through because I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. But now I'm excited to watch it. Now, when you mentioned Randy Cross, I did see his scene, and I was like, "Wow, that's great, man!" And you do have some cameos. Mark Leiter's in there, John Luke, Darren Checkmate. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but
Majinski.
Machinsky and Tito Santana. Man, he's a legend in WWF, man. How did you get all these people in your movie?
That's a great story. It's kind of my brother with the New Jersey thing, and most of these people are from New Jersey area, except John Luke's from New York. Well, Tito lives not too far from it. I actually knew Mark just as I worked at a Home Depot, and he became a customer. We started talking about my brother, and I was telling about how my brother had suffered concussions, and he got denied benefits for 4 years, and he finally got his benefits, but lost his house due to concussions from New Jersey. And meaning, I told you to Pop Warner, he got major, and that's the whole thing. I was helping raise concussion awareness, and I said, yeah, but I got to get a hold of this guy Mark Leiter to sign a ball for me because I want to do a benefit for my brother. And he goes, dude, that's me. And I'm like, dude, I got to meet you. I've been talking to this guy for 8 times, and I had no idea it was Mark Leiter. We just became friends way before that. And from that point on, he became a really great supporter in my movie as far as helping me through different things. It just became one thing led to another.
Well, when you were talking about your brother, you said something about Pops Warner. Did he get concussions while he's playing football, little league football, maybe?
Yeah, when he was and we all remember how many fingers am I holding up? That was real. In Pop Warner, he actually got a total of 8 before he graduated high school. But I remember one Pop Warner season, he got 3 in one season. I mean, think about that. That's like you're still a kid growing up, and they had one like after 2 weeks, you're okay, go back in. Yeah, we don't know. And then he got hit again. He was running back, and then he was fast, but he wasn't that fast. Obviously, he got hit. Anyway, he ended up getting till hit, and by the time he graduated, seriously, I watched him going out last high school one. They took him out for a week in the hospital. He just, it was a horrible hit. It was like, wow. Now his brother going, damn, you got hit. So anyway, no, but we didn't know that it took later on effect. And when he was 50, he had an aneurysm. And I said, okay, I knew he had an aneurysm. It happens. You have a heart attack. It happens. What happened was I didn't realize that he was not getting his benefits from the concussions he received. Was calling him. He had seizures in their office. I mean, seriously, you were asking for benefits, all of a sudden you end up on the floor going, and you can't, that's why, you smoke pot so you don't get it. Not trying to be rude, but he just, and that's what happened. And they said, no. So basically, after his 4th year, he got benefits, but he lost his house. I did not know this, and I originally started the movie, and I was like, dude, that's so wrong. I said, I was going to make a movie that was totally different. I said, let me just rewrite. I said, I had my magic scene already figured out. I was the first guy to levitate 2 people live. I had that already on film, so I knew something a core to work with. I said, let me just change. And I made it a politically correct 100% movie that was able to get different pros and understood concussions and sports related issues about it. And John Luke played hockey and is a really awesome person as far as just roundabout and as well as different people. I have a gentleman there who's actually in the movie. What's the new Italian movie?
Oh, there's a lot of movies, but I do want to dig into this. I know that if this is benefiting your brother, the story of your brother needs to be a big part of what this is, what this podcast, this story of how this movie came to be. There's a lot of time between high school or grade school age to 50 years old, and you say he only just got benefits 4 years ago. What was he doing his whole life? That was he having problems throughout his whole life?
Well, that way I could actually get him on. But basically, as a brother, we talked. But I knew that he was having when what happens is, like I said, concussions happen. You do it. Whether he was getting any sort of headaches or something, he didn't tell me about it. And then all of a sudden, he told me about an aneurysm, which caused him to go down in it's what they call as a disruption of the brain. And from that point on, like I said, I knew he would have seizures, which would cause him not, seizures doesn't make you want to do. It doesn't make you want to go out of your house. You know what I'm saying? And you basically, because people stare at you as you're on the ground, having an epileptic fit until your seizures pass. That's what he was doing, and he still does that. He doesn't go out too much, but anyway, like I said, he ended up losing his job, lost his house, and I'm like, dude, that's not. And so basically, I was able to. And the irony was that even in this movie, I actually got a concussion doing this, because when I boxed Darren Checkmate Majinski, I'm sorry, but we actually boxed. You want to see a real fight for five? No, seriously, you don't go up and say, no, he did it in respect of, and you watch it. I was there. I've never been knocked down. I was Army, infantry, martial arts. I wrestled when I was a high school wrestler. I mean, you watch some really good stuff. So basically, but yeah, I was able to get these guys to work with me and make a great story that I wrote. And I have my editor just recently worked on the movie The Joker.
Okay.
Exactly. Which I thought was really cool. I was like, oh wow, so we wrote, and you get to see some great Civil War scenes. It's just all around, it's a great story. I would not recommend it for kids. Okay. I think it's a great 8:00 in the movie evening type thing. And I'm donating proceeds to my brother. And for $5.50, think about it. You take your laptop, you hook it up to your television, and watch a movie. No, it really. When you see it, you please tell the world.
Oh, that's simple enough. You definitely can hook it up to a television, or I have a video projector out there. I enjoy it so much watching movies, so I'll definitely put it up there on the big screen. But we're talking about did your brother inspire you to make movies, or were you making movies already?
I'm a comic and a magician. I've worked in. I've even done a theater. The theater I first performed at, the only one. George Byrne and Gracie Allen's first performed together. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Oh, really? Have I ever heard of them? Oh, God.
Great. I'm not trying to make myself old, but no, seriously.
I'm 51. I'm 51. Yeah, whether I heard about it from me. Yeah. What's that?
Yeah. That was their first time performing together. Was in the same theater that I performed at, as well as Mae West actually performed there. So I actually did a comedy magic show there. That was kind of cool. I performed around. I traveled. And
well, Kevin Prentice, I'm 51. How old are you?
56.
56. Okay, so we chewed a lot of the same dirt. We grew up around the same time. I get it. Maybe you got a little bit more of the 70s in you. I'm more of the 80s, I guess. But certainly, man. And you grew up where? In New Jersey?
In New Jersey, you'll get to hear a story about my family history, which is kind of cool. We were pre-Revolutionary War from New Jersey. I mean, that's how our family actually went back to where they actually. No, that's not a joke. They're supposed to be. There's a deed written on deerskin in a museum about my family. We own that land. Yeah, okay. The Indians came on our property. You ever heard of Lenape Indians?
No, but I just finished watching Hamilton 4 times, and I know that part of that story. Well, spoiler alert, is in New Jersey. Some of that is in was it Waponoc? What's that?
Well, there's Whippany.
In New
We
Jersey.
were,
There's
this
a city that has
Waponoc.
a really fun name. I can't remember it, but anyway, that's where Hamilton got shot. I'm sure everybody knows that Hamilton got
That's
shot.
that's down by the Hamilton. That's down by the riverways. Yeah, we know about that.
But
Yeah, he was. I've good place to go for the Cake Boss. There's cake along that area too. If you ever go to that show, you can go to Cake Boss and have that nice dessert. That's also not 10 minutes from there.
so, I mean, you're growing up in Jersey in the 70s, man. A kid just trying to figure out his way. When did magic and comedy start?
Parents got divorced. Disney. Disney was the first creator of magic. I was going down Main Street, and a guy said, "Come inside." And he actually said, "Hold out your hand." I did, and I opened it up, and I think 7, 8 rabbits popped out of my hands. I was like, "Wow, that was pretty good sleight of hand." I'm like, "What this should happen?" So basically, I got hooked from Disney, or to say.
You went down to Disney World?
Yeah, I started doing magic. I did a high school. I was gong show type things with I went against all that good stuff, and then I created what I did. I actually did a trick. You ever heard of the TV show movie called Faces of Death?
Yes, they're eating the monkeys,
Yeah.
man. That monkey scene changed my whole life.
I saw it by accident. I honestly, I was going through my phone and saying a magician make a mistake. I'm like, dude, yeah, I dropped a card. Okay, sure. I'm watching a guy get killed in this movie called Faces of Death. I'm like, oh God, it's a magician dying. And I watched it about 15 times and knew what he did wrong. And I do that trick in the movie that you're going to watch.
Oh my! I mean,
Yeah,
I think a lot of people watch that movie on a dare. I think a lot of people watch that movie on a dare, Kevin Prentice. Man, so you're girl. You went to Disney World, and that inspired you to be a musician.
Oh, they actually did. Yeah, I went from there. I actually started. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, I did. Disney does that to people. But yeah, I lived in Florida. I graduated. I moved from New Jersey to Melbourne, Florida. I lived there. I dreamed a genie during the '80s. That's when I wrestled and did all that down in Florida, surfing.
That's cool. Okay, now the first time that I first and last time that I surfed was in Sebastian. Pretty close, I guess where you're at.
I know exactly. Yeah, the sharks are great. They invite you there. No, yeah, no.
Yeah.
You don't realize that until you watch that TV show, The Greatest Deadly Show, with that Australian guy. Yeah, he's right there. He caught that Makos.
Yeah, I'm from Miami in the Florida Keys, and just on a whim, my buddy said, "Hey, let's drive to Sebastian. I got a couple of boards. We'll go surf." And here I am surfing waist high, falling like crazy. He was a much better surfer than I was, but I didn't know about the sharks until much later, man.
Yeah. It's great because the inlet, the way the water breaks, and I'm goofy foot, so I had to go, have my back to the wave. Yeah, but I surfed up I'm from Indiana, so I used to watch the space shuttle go up as a kid. I used to go outside my house and actually watch the rockets go up, like kind of entertaining.
Hey, for the people who don't know what a goofy foot is, let them know what's a goofy foot.
It means I'm a left-handed person, so my back would go to one wave. I would surf one wave, my foot would go, because what happens is the right-handed person will go one way, I'd go the opposite. I'm lefty, goofy foot.
Yeah, what's the disadvantage of that? Is everybody's going right, you're going left?
In the rocks, it stinks, but other than that, it's nothing, man. It's just the way the wave breaks. It's nature. Wave can go left or right. It's just how the wave is. It's just you learn to surf both ways. That's just basically it. I surfed about an hour and a half after Hurricane David. I lived in Hawaii. I surfed there too. No, I really did. I've done my stuff. I actually wanted to do part two. I wanted to call out a gentleman who surfed my beach. His name was I'm drawing a brain fart.
That's all right. Once you get past 50, we start farting up brains for sure, man.
I used the Jerry Lopez board, but as Kelly Slater, he used to surf at our beach before I left for the Army.
And this is in Hawaii or this is in Melbourne?
I had no idea who he was.
This is in Hawaii or Melbourne?
Melbourne. I'm from Cocoa Beach in Melbourne area. Kelly Slater's from Cocoa Beach. I'm from Melbourne. And if you ever surfed, you go down to Sebastian and all that. And that's where Kelly Slater's from. He's 12-time world champion.
I've DJ'd a lot of parties in Cocoa Beach, man. I'm very familiar, and I've watched a lot of shuttles go off in Cocoa Beach as well. I mean, those were some glorious times, man. The '80s were great, man, for the space race. Cocoa Beach was amazing. You'd be surprised at how many famous people live on Cocoa Beach. It's expensive, but definitely beautiful, man. Nice place to kind of grow up and hang out.
No complaints. Yeah, nope. It was great. No. And that's where I ended up having fun. And I did my high school, and then I joined and eventually went in the military and did my 3 years in the Army and moved on. And
what kind of job did you do? What job did you do in the Army?
I was infantry, and if you notice my hat right now, my son sent me this for Father's Day. He's just graduated at being a mechanic in the Army.
Excellent.
For a wheel mechanic. Yeah, it's very cool. He's now going to airborne school.
Man, I mean, he'll always have a job. He's a mechanic. Forget about it. And even, airborne, hey, you can take it or leave it. But definitely a mechanic. You can use that in the real world for sure.
Definitely cool. That's why I'm sporting. He's like very cool. That's because I call myself the Hatter. In my movie, I change different hats. As part of persona. And exactly, I was like, what do I wear? I'm like, my son's hat. He's actually in my movie. He's actually the referee when I was boxing.
Okay.
I'm thinking, and I couldn't think of a better person to be standing next to somebody who I could just say, stop killing me. Because this guy, Darren, he beat me up twice. He comes up and he goes to me, first time I said, I want to box you in the movie. He goes, I'm sorry, I'm not going to swear, but I apologize. He goes, you want to fucking fight me? He's 2 inches from me. Get in the ring right now. I'm like, no, he said, get in the fucking ring right now. I said, I'm a street guy, get in the fucking ring. I said, okay, we get in. No kidding, I hit him. And he put 7 in my midsection. I'm like, oh, okay. I go in the corner and I'm like, oh. For about 3 minutes, I said, Darren, I said, that's great, but nobody wants to pay $5 to watch you just punch me. I never been beaten up without somebody not punching my face, man. His fists were back in my hand, like.
Well, that's the thing about having a boxer and not an actor. He's not necessarily an actor, man. He was actually. You gotta direct the guy. You gotta say, pull some punches, man. Give me about an inch before you hit me.
This was a movie anyway. Second time, he goes, how do you want this? And he was an IBF champ. And Darren goes, Darren, you train with Bernard Hopkins. He goes, hundreds around. You know Bernard Hopkins, world champion. He goes, yeah, I train hundreds around. I said, well, do me a favor. Take it one step above training, but one step below murder.
Yeah, you like the realism, but you don't want to get hit, man.
He goes, I think I can do that. I'm like, no, I know you. No, you're going to do that because you kill me. No, seriously, I didn't realize. You don't realize how good they are. I really, and he watched the film, and this one, it's great stuff. And he was nice. Everybody was great-hearted, people. They reach out every now and then.
Yeah, you find that people are great, man.
Plus, you get to see me. I have a girlfriend. You'll see great artwork in it, but she was actually one of the. I do magic, and you'll see that levitation. I levitate too, but I also do But I also do one of the trick in that movie. I play with fire.
What? Man, where do you learn all these skills? Hey, there's one thing for a guy on Main Street in Disney World to hand you make a bunch of rabbits come out of your hand, but how are you learning all this? I mean. Okay, all right. You already said that your parents split up. My parents split up as well. That's how you get creative. You have bad experiences, and you want an outlet to get your sorrows out of your way. That's what I did. I found other outlets instead of saying, "Oh, woe is me. Oh, woe is me." No, but you started doing magic, man. I mean, where are you learning magic? This is before the internet, before YouTube. This is you had to get a book or what?
Yeah, well, you learn from other magicians. It really is what you do is you actually want to figure out what you learn from other. It's something you pick it up. You want to say, I want to go this route. Yeah, I can escape from like mailbag tricks to handcuffs to fire to. I studied every different technique of magic. You find out from, yeah, you can, when I learned from Disney, but I learned from books. So you started learning Houdini, you knew who he was, and you learned about his tricks, and you learned what made him like. Do you remember him when he did he was naked and
Yeah,
he was in handcuffs?
yeah, I've seen the
Okay,
movie, and I know after
right,
100 years, he's still the king. I mean, shoot.
right. But you know how he got out of those handcuffs, right? Out of the chains when he was upside down.
No, I don't know how. You know how.
Right. Well, that I'll treat is because it's that's public. He built a pendulum inside of the lock, so when he was upside down, the lock would disengage, and hence he could be up releasing the handcuffs, and it locks upside down. But while you were standing up, you could not pull his locks apart because it was a pendulum design. He was a locksmith. So basically, as you were standing, but when you took him upside down, he was in really, he was not chained anymore.
Well, incidentally, didn't he get killed with a punch to the gut? Wasn't that his
Yeah,
demise?
he had yeah, there was illnesses. Somebody actually did punch him. I don't know. I did that trick where I put myself in harm's way, and gentleman died doing it. Yeah, was I scared? Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, it happens. There's you push your magic escape abilities, or I do other tricks too. But that, yeah, you can die, and you know. Whatever it just you find out. But I actually, that was something I just knew I could. When I watched somebody die on the phone, I'm like, wow. I knew what he did wrong, and I studied it. I escaped from a straitjacket underneath a 50-pound weight with 6-inch spikes above my head. There's a flame burning the rope, and I'm trying to escape underneath it because without getting the impaled, and because that's what happened to the guy is the rope burned and he got impaled in the face, and I'm like, oh God.
And you
And
said,
yeah,
"Oh, I got to do
out of
that."
me.
You said,
Yeah,
"Oh, I can do that." Really? What kind of
I
a
don't.
person?
That's
What kind of a mind says he sees that kind of thing and says, "Oh, I can do that, and I can do it better." Kevin Prentice, you're
oh yeah.
amazing.
Thank you. I apologize, but yeah, I never thought about that. Makes me not feel that good. But no, I knew I realized what he did wrong, and I don't want to tell you because it ruins the half the movie. But um, I actually knew it, and I studied. I'm like, I knew what you did wrong because I actually know how to get out of straight checks. I know how to get out of handcuffs. I know how to the ropes and that's all the good stuff. Yeah, and you learn about fire was just something I picked up on the way of different. You start learning about how fire in different ways. You have no idea. There's more that can be powder to something to explosive to launching to grabbing to holding to fire. There's a whole different chemistry.
Well, I mean, going
Yeah,
through the timeline, when did you go to Disney World? Was that? I mean, what year was that, and how old were you
I
back
was
then?
I was in probably 7, 8 years old. So we're talking, I don't know, 77s. Yeah, around
Wow.
that time.
Okay, and
Yeah.
that was the inspiration. Then you started what, card tricks, or I mean, what do people
Uh,
start with?
yeah. Oh, well, no, I did. Yeah. What did I do? I actually, when I was seventh grade, I did I went to a talent show with the junior high kids, and I came in second place. I actually put out a lit cigarette in a scarf. I thought I was going to get suspended for having a lit cigarette in the school, but I lit a cigarette out and I put it out in a scarf and it made it disappear. I did that and a couple other things. And people were like, where'd it go? And I'm like, okay, that's part of the trick. The point is, I lost to the hot chicks. Okay.
Yeah, but you had a chance to have a lit cigarette in high school. How cool were you then, man? What did the
Well,
cool kids think of you then?
junior high, and I did, yeah. Well, it was like, and so basically, that's when I started doing magic. I backed off of magic for a few years. I actually met a magician who actually worked with Jerry Lewis before Jerry worked with Dean, and I said, I quit doing magic, and he goes to me, hey, buddy, I'm not trying to be rude, but you can't quit doing magic. I said, what do you mean? He goes, can you unforget the tricks that you learn? I said, no. Yeah, you can't go back from once you're a magician, you're always a magician. I'm not trying to be the worst person that tells you the bad news, but dude, you're always a magician from this point on. What you do with yourself is, but you're a magician from now on.
Man, it
I'm like,
sounds like you've been inspired throughout your life. Yeah, I mean, give credit where
yeah,
credit is due. I want you to name names. Who are these people that you became, I guess, an apprentice
uh,
of sorts, or they became your mentors, your
oh,
heroes?
that's a tough one because his name was no, that was the gentleman I talked to. His name was this was Ray out in Jersey, other side of Jersey. I don't have a mentor. I was a magician. He had worked. His name is Ray Magic. If I started googling his stuff, but I used to buy tricks from him and stuff. You learn what would happen is you would go in and he would teach you some of the newest tricks that were out on the market. I believe he was from like the 60s and 70s, old time magician, but he owned a magic shop and he would just perform different. So I was able to pick up whatever I felt comfortable. You pick up the stuff that you like and what you want. There's street magic. There's theater. I like theater magic. That's what I'm into. I actually have a guillotine. Okay, I put my head. Yeah, I love that's great stuff. Yeah, no, yeah, it's no. I'm more of a theatrical magician. Yeah, I can do the David Blaine type of things, and Chris Angel is a great TV magician,
Right,
which
right.
means once you turn off the television or you got 20 people in the room all pretending to be no, I'm not. That's his type of now. But people believed it. David Copperfield. I mean, but seriously, he's a great guy. I just think that there's different styles of magician. I think Chris was great in some ways. I just think he just got too TV. David Lane would do a lot of personal stuff.
Yeah, I
As
mean,
far as what's
there's only so many tricks you can do. I'm sure all the tricks that were done at the turn of the centuries or centuries ago, they're just getting updated, updated, updated. When I found out how David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear, I mean, they had a whole documentary on it. I'm watching it. I'm going, oh, yeah, I guess that would do it. you know, but amazing. But it's the illusion. And as the audience member, you have to be a part of the show. You have to suspend disbelief. If you're going there to see Kevin Prentice, the Hatter, to go, to one of your magic shows, I got to be like saying, "Hey, wow me," and I'm ready to be wowed.
who probably most inspired me was he's a magician who died. Doug Hennings.
Oh, Doug Henning. Ah, yes, Doug Henning. Oh man, I used to enjoy watching him. It's not just he did great magic, which he did, but he also had that great voice and
Yes,
just great stage presence. You got to have a
yes.
show. So I mean,
Oh,
I've never seen one of your magic shows. Do you have anything on YouTube with it, or do you have to
yeah.
go ahead?
I used to do comedy clubs, and what happened was I finished doing a set, and the guy goes, "You're really funny. You go back to Jersey?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Good, because I'm stealing your material." I'm like, what? No, I said, "No, dude, I'm serious. I wanted to tell you face to face, that I'm stealing material." And I said, "Wow, why?" Yeah, sue me. I'm like, from that point on, I didn't want to give stuff away. Basically, he's using my comedy in Florida. I can't do a thing about it. What can you pat your jokes? Yeah, I wrote some really fun stuff, and I still am a comic, and I had fun at traveling, doing comedy shows. You're never going to get rich. You're just going to have fun and enjoy what you do.
Man, but Kevin
You might
Prentice,
get rich if somebody, but you're not. Don't.
Kevin
Comedy club.
Prentice, that's frowned upon, man. You can't steal somebody else's stuff, and not
You
that you,
can't.
yeah,
Right. He told me
yeah.
the face. So it taught me, and at that point, to not do YouTube because YouTube, you get 10,000 views for it, and then they'll get a little bit of money. No. So what am I giving away my jokes?
Gotcha.
No.
No, no, no. Okay, now I get it. Yes, I'm talking about stuff that you've already done on stage. If somebody ever, once you've made I guess a comedy show, a comedy special. If you've done any specials.
Uh, I've done some stuff. I try to stay out of limelight because I think once you give up your freedom, which I just recently have done, you're now you're giving up your freedom. I can't explain it. I've done podcasts here and there, like what I'm doing, but and then I would do a comedy. Or I do a couple of comedy acts, or I went down to Florida to do a couple of things, and or I maybe a magic show here or there. But I would personally never try to promote myself because after a certain point, I didn't want to really be exposed to that level because you know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. Let's talk in here. You'll see what's going to happen exactly. It's going to change things.
Yeah, Kevin Prentice, you make a lot of sense. I mean, if you could do the same act over and over across the country if you've never been on television or on YouTube, which is great. I mean, it's better for your psyche. You can come up with a good, half hour of jokes and just do it all the way across the country and make money that way. But if you once you put it down as a comedy special, then that's it. Those jokes are done. You got to come up with a whole new special. So I could see your point.
Yeah, I've done that. I have about 2 hours worth of material. So as far as like, but there, and once after that, I basically run out. And like I said, jokes were good, but I knew in my heart that if I wanted to actually make money in the business industry of entertainment, that the theater was probably, or in this case, my movie design, which nobody's ever done, is I took a camera. And how many points of view movie have you seen other than Hardcore Henry?
No, all I did was
Nobody's
I kind of skipped through it, and I saw that it was action packed, man. There's boxing, there's hockey, there's wrestling, I was like, wow, man, there's so much to see here, and it's an hour and 1 minute, so it's a very respectable movie. I mean, have you shopped it around, or is this available on Apple, or is it going to have theatrical release, or what are we doing with this movie?
Well, that's a good point. It's a point of view movie that I just basically released on Gumroad. Basically, you go through your website, www.stream, the word stream, and then hattersworldofmovie.com. Or you can actually, if you want to read about my brother and the whole storyline, is go to hattersworldofmovie.com and go through that way and read about the story. It'd say, pay here or click on here and it go into the next site. But basically, it's an internet movie. I designed it with totally different concept. Was I go to Jim Dowd? I'm not trying to be, but he's a hockey player. I go, Jim. I said, how many people do you know? He says, I know thousands of people. I said, well, you have friends that you can help show this movie with, or we can retwitter this movie with. And I said, and I was able to get all the pros to work at the same pay rate because no pro thought they were just different than any other, and I'm still giving money to my brother. So everybody was treated equally just because they're champion of one, everybody was like, okay, I will do this. And that's a yes. And how many hours? Okay, yeah. And they knew the cause, and they were just like, sure, I will. And they're all from, like, almost all from New Jersey. Jim Dowd from locally, Mark Leiter locally, Tito, not locally, but semi-locally, John Lewis. But anyway, it's good stuff.
So where was the movie made? Was it made up in Jersey?
Jersey, Pennsylvania, all around. I had some. My friend actually shot some shots in Florida, but and put it in. You can't. It's fun stuff in that way. You'll see a lot of difference. I actually get lost into your television channels. So you'll see me go from TV show to TV show to TV show in order to complete the challenge. It's great. Why is that? Because my reporter gets drunk. I go to the bar. I got drunk at the bar, and I end up becoming a belligerent drunk. And Mark Leiter gives me the chance to go through the door of opportunity. So that's how and henceforth. And then from there, they can actually see me on television. They're in the bar. There's people in the bar now can actually watch me on television to complete the tasks. I'm stuck in a television set. In order to meet, now I got to do all this because my big mouth got my ass in trouble because I was drunk, and I'm a magician, and it's a magical bar. And of course, when you do magic, this is what happens. It's good stuff. So you'll see that in the movie.
Well, the listeners are going to want to know how did you make the jump from stage actor, stage entertainer? Because I can't even put you in a box, man. You do magic, you do comedy, but how did you make that jump to movie maker? Is this your first offering? Did you go to school for movie making, or I mean, what put besides the having your brother as inspiration? Hey, he needs a couple bucks. Let me see how I can do that. How did you come up with the idea to make a movie?
Well, I've done theater in different parts of the school system. That was fine. Uh, the the concept was that nobody had designed a movie. What I made was using the GoPro or the phone system. Which, by the way, the phone is actually better cameras than they used in 1970s. If you actually wanted, the pixels are incredible. I have using a Gimroid system where you don't get six and bouncing around, and the GoPro is is a great system, and so you can actually incorporate the different sort of that you have you can incorporate the different angles and stuff like that. So basically, I created the point of view mixing with an older movie called George Plimpton. And if you remember that,
I,
yes, Paper Lion. I believe he wrote a book called Paper Lion, and I mixed that with an Alice in Wonderland concept. And I wrote and as a kid, I grew up. I could be a creative writer and stuff, and I designed the story, and I incorporated both of their philosophies into making Hatter's World. Originally I had Morphin's World. That's totally different. I'd leave that one into another day. Hatter's World, which was in henceforth, this is where I took it into another realm. But it's writing both of those stories and combining it, shaking it around, and just creating my own world. Yeah.
so Hatter's World, was that a concept that you had previous to the idea of making a movie, or was that the idea for the movie?
Um, I created Hatter's World. I've always had a Hatter's World to be like a safe haven off the cuff world, and then another dimensional realm, as one would call it. And that's how I ended up creating Hatter's World. As in this case, the easiest realm for everybody to understand is television. You see people and you think that's how the world is.
Yeah.
So I just created that realm
Well, I could see
using
you making this into a board game or a video game. I mean, I could see several different options but like I was asking, the question was Matt Hatter's World something that you used as an escape, or was it the movie itself that you made this concept for? You said this is the movie.
That's I basically know Hatter's World was basically I wrote it into the. It's a tough one. I wrote that it's basically the whole movie concept of being able to go from to go. The Hatter can go from different realms to different realms. To being able to, that is my storyline. I try to keep to that, as well as if I do another storyline, I can always choose to enter different areas. One would say it's kind of like you open up a door and I can go into a different place, a different era, and I use that, and I still keep that. And that's where Hatter's World was, and I created the Euphoria and created in that sort of concept. Yes, I enjoy that. That's as far as it's just a story I wrote. Which, how do you get there? You got to have a door. You're mixing with Narnia. You have the closet. In this case, the bar door. You know what I'm saying? You had to have some way to create it. And this, what else? Because my attitude, I used the bar. It worked in itself in.
Yeah, Kevin Prentice, I can see you had lots of inspiration. There's so many different avenues now that you've left it open to where all it takes is a door or a drink at the bar to open up these new worlds. Man, you could make part 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be a whole plethora of stories. And you said there's already another
Yeah.
thing besides Hatter's World. Do you have something else that you're working on already?
I have part two actually. I've already written it. You have to watch one to see how I get into part two. But I've already. I'm working out a deal with somebody who's in NASCAR, he's actually won the Hendricks Award twice. He's in the NASCAR Hall of Fame for mechanic. Charlie Langstein. I'm going to screw his last name up. Langstein. He's on the 00 team for the NASCAR. He's a mechanic, and I'm going to be going against a female drag racer, Gracie. I can't pronounce names to save my life. But in any case, you know, um, she world time drag racer. I'm going to be going against her. We're going to be actually going and using NASCAR cars we're looking at right now to drive around the track, as well as I'm actually going to be going against a Major League Baseball pitcher, Mark Leiter
Wow.
Jr.,
Yes.
who pitched. He pitched for the Phillies, a couple other teams.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I see
Yes.
Mark Leiter was in this movie. And is it his
Right.
kid?
Yeah. His brother's Al Leiter is you know what I'm saying, from the Yankees, the voice of the Yankees.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, his son pitched for just got released from the Arizona team, and he's out in actually one of those other leagues. It's one of those leagues that are actually still, they call it it's kind of like a grapefruit league that they're pitching and whatever, but he's still playing, so it's great. But I'm going to be going against him. I watched him strike out Todd Frazier 6 out of 8 times. I'm supposed to go against him.
So, all right. So,
Mark.
let's go into the nuts and bolts of it. How long did it take to make this movie? From writing it to putting it together?
3 years. The next one, I've actually have a lot of beef footage. You're going to watch me in part one have some really cool TV shows that you're going to relate to,
Yeah.
and I actually recorded other TV shows that are just as relatable. But it's kind of like, which shows do I want to keep bringing every movie into? So like, well, why did you use this one? Like, give an example. Where they go out and look for buried treasure, on an island, something like that. Yeah, I work with those type of characters. I do different other television. Where they go and repo things. I did that one too. So I have another part two already pre-scanned out as far, but I needed to in this case complete the 3 pro challenges. So basically, part two can actually be done in about 6 months, where part one took about 3 years, because I did a lot of different recordings that I didn't, until I figured out the storyline. And then so now I can make part two a lot faster.
Yeah, I
Does
suspect
that make sense?
now that you've made this world. I mean, you figure George Lucas made Star Wars. It must have taken 10 years to make the first one, and then after that, he had the concept made. Now you got the story. You can start taking different avenues. That's fantastic. You're making your own world that people are going to want to explore. That people are going to want to be a part of. You might even have like fan fiction. You might have fans that'll dress up like some of the people. Could you imagine that? I mean, this could go huge, because sometimes fans get a hold of something and it becomes their own. I could see that, man. I mean, how's that? That's got to make you feel good. What's the response on this? I mean, have people told you?
Well, I've everybody actually, and I said, look, was it worth? I mean, my movie, I could charge a lot, but because of the virus, I kept the movie to $5.55. I know it sounds kind of odd. I'm not trying to, but seriously, had I charged 20, well, Steven, you could have recorded. Yeah, I'm not Steven Spielberg. This is the first movie, and I'm donating, and you'll never see a movie like this. This is what's cool about this, is I designed from a point of view to actually climb in a boxing ring, and you're going to see what it's like to actually box a pro. Yeah, yeah, I guess I could have put 20 on it and feel love it, but I only, so basically it's slow, but it's because I have to get people to watch it and take a movie review about it. Like it's kind of what I mean, I'm telling you, I'm levitating 2 people at the same time. They're looking at me like, yeah, okay. It's the same concept. I got to convince a few people before they like, he just did that. Okay, good. I've had everybody I said has said it's worth the money.
Well, even those big name, even those big name directors and producers, they had a first film too. They didn't come out with right off the bat. Most of them started off with a small film that they did in film school. Tarantino swears that Reservoir Dogs is his first film. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure he did something back in school that he kind of threw away and said, "Forget about that one. Forget about it."
I didn't really film was not my total, but I knew that if I can get people to watch it and share it, and because like Tito Santana, he wrestled Hulk Hogan. You know what that's like? First of all, I'm so honored that I would be able to wrestle these guys. I mean, Tito wrestled, Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, come on. I mean, you watched it, and I knew that if he can just reach out to them and say, "Hey, guys, his brother got hurt and was sharing, and part of the proceeds go to him. Can you have your fans watch the movie, see what it's like to climb in a ring from that point of view? I mean, how wrestling fans, you get to watch what it's like to climb in a ring and he's getting thrown against the ropes from a world champion. I'm sorry, it's not like a kid around town. No, it's a world champion. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, Kevin
You know,
Prentice, is this whole movie just you getting beat up? Between Checkmate and Santana? Is that is that the main part of it?
it's three. It's three. I have to go against three pro challenges. You'll see a really awesome story with the historical points, me getting through Stockton. But yeah, it's not a jackass video. You'll find that it's actually the story. You'll learn about history. You'll learn about me and my family. Did you know? I don't want to ruin get a spoiler, but yeah, you learn about my family and then we lost half of a town in a card game. Okay, you learn that about New Jersey when you watch the film.
Oh man, there is so much I got to look forward to. I'll probably check it out this weekend for sure, man, and I'll let you know what I thought. And now, man, and you already have part two in the works. That's fantastic, man. You're going to be prolific. What were you saying?
Yeah, it's I'm basically trying to. We're probably looking at Charlotte right now. I'm trying to get to do a road course and an oval set up, and trying to do both of those shooting in probably about 2.5 months.
That's
And that's
fantastic,
my
man.
goal.
Now, where are you living now?
New Jersey.
Oh, you're back in Jersey.
Uh,
Okay. When did you leave Florida?
uh, in the 80s, 85, 86. I left in the AF, and then I've been back up here. My father, I helped moved them to Florida as they get old. That's what they have is they go to Florida.
That's what
I
they
just stayed
do.
in Jersey.
That's what they
Yeah.
do. I mean, but then you went around for a little bit. Was Hawaii because of the army, or did you go to Hawaii for
Yeah.
another reason?
Yeah, I left high school and I joined the military, and I went from Fort Lewis. I did time in Hawaii. Once where I surfed in there and had a great time. And you have to leave Hawaii. Hawaii is a Friday night. If you lived in Hawaii, would you care what day of the week it is? I don't care. Every night is Friday night down in town of Waikiki. Yes, because they're on vacation, and so are you. So yeah, you have to leave there. It's better leave. It's you just yeah. So
Dude, I understand. I lived in the Florida Keys, which is like a water, maybe a smaller version of it. But I had to leave the Florida Keys because it was making me so soft, man. And nobody wants to work
I
down there. Everybody's on vacation.
no, seriously, and like Duval Street, unless you're a chef or boating or something like
Right.
that, tourist industry. No, yeah, motels. I understand that very much. But you after you lived it, you find out that's not the life you want to live. But when you lived it though, you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You experienced life, and you like something else to do. Right now I live 10 minutes from. Remember the show Jersey Shore?
Sure.
Yeah, I live 10 minutes away from there now. So
All right. So you
down,
do a lot of gym tan laundry?
yeah.
You just spend your days doing gym, tan, laundry, GTL.
No, I work at Home Depot, and I kayak when I want to. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Sounds like you got your life all set, man. And so you never went to film school. You came up with the. Did you go to film school?
No, that's actually what made my editor, who actually went to film school, like his mouth was dropped open because I came up to him and I said he worked on the movie The Joker. I mean, you're talking about a person like, and I'm coming off the street going, I got an idea for him. He's listening to me going, wait, you didn't. And seriously, he says, dude, that's like, and he didn't realize how much footage I'd already recorded with another person who was a still photographer. One of the, his name's David, who worked with me for a year. And I told him what kind of footage, and I told him the story. He was like, he's hooked. He was like, okay, I'm with you. So he ended up becoming the editor, which makes the movie magic, as far as you mixing. And it just went on. But, I didn't go. And then he goes, I can't tell you how much you've done, and I applaud you. And I'm like, I'm not trying to get conceited because it's like, thank you. But I really didn't realize what I was getting into. I had no idea what I was, and I still don't at times. But yes, I mean, even the legal part with the scheduling and people were like, okay, can I have the script of this thing? This, yeah, I had to get obviously I had to get my business license. That was another fun thing, but it was aside from that, they were expecting a film school person, and I was like, dude, you have to understand. No, I'm a comic, and work with me. And what happened was I was able to work with a lot of these people because my script was written. I said, can you play yourself? And a lot of them actually understood. They said, yeah. I said, in my movie, I want you to be you because it's a lot easier to be you than for me to give you lines for you to be somebody else. I said, I'll be me. I'll be the funny guy. I'll portray. I can make weird voices. I'm a character. I'll improvise. I'll just be yourself and let's do this. And I think that's what got a lot of them to be happy was they didn't have to. I said, all I want you to do is just be yourself for 40, be yourself or whatever. And that's what they did.
Kevin Prentice, I've never made a movie, but I've heard that the editor really is crucial to put the movie together. So I'm glad you had a good editor, a good team working with you, and you gave the people gems. I've heard that when the smartphone, the iPhone in particular, came out, that people were making actual. There was like a whole cinematic film made with that, and I bought myself a cheap gimbal for my smartphone, and I use it quite often walking down the street, man. It's like a GoPro. I mean, it does the job, and you're right. It does. The quality of the picture is much better than anything that was out in the '70s. Man, you're giving people gems.
Well, that's just it. And if you tell somebody what you just said, you already said that I'm using this phone and this thing. So expect something different is you're not going to get, but expect a great story on that sort of device. Now you got something to watch. You know what I'm saying? That's really, and that's kind of what everybody I said, dude, you did good. You did really good. So, but that's all I can say is we'll see. Talk about it. I know that's not me. It's just something different. And I think I give everybody is, come on, everything I've said is totally different. When have you ever heard about all that from one package?
In one film, man. That's just that's crazy sauce. And now you have to outdo yourself for the second film. Part two always has to take it one step higher. How are you going to do it, Kevin Prentice? How?
You, want a secret?
Uh,
Now, actually, I'm actually in the process of working with somebody. Have you ever heard of Dale Earnhardt?
yeah, racing cars. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's a gentleman that actually gave him his name, the Intimidator. You ever heard of his name? Right. So anyway, I'm actually, and he also was a person that designed Sturgis.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually, between mixing that and the NASCAR, I'm actually possibly working. I'll find out in the next day or two whether he's going to be part of this program with Mike, because part two, and because yes, they can create Sturgis out of nothing in North Dakota. I think he'd probably make my movie really good.
Man, Hatter's World just came out. How long ago? How long ago did Hatter's World come out? When did you actually release it?
That's a trick one. No, actually, only about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. That's why I said I'm learning how to use these phone systems. I got to get a better, camcorder system. We can talk again. I'll be more than happy to, get together. We can, I have an awesome cast, by the way. If you look at John Luke is a great guy to want to talk to. So if you want to, talk to any of those guys, they're great.
Oh, I'm happy to talk to anybody, but I'm so happy to be talking to you, Kevin Prentice. To have something come out of your brain and go on to film, man, you did it. You've done it, man, and it's something that I've never been able to do. I mean, I'm okay. I guess I'm a showman of sorts. I'm a DJ, and I get to go play a lot of things. The one good thing about living in the Florida Keys was a lot of destination weddings, man. I got to see a lot of people get hitched and go off and hopefully have great lives, and that I got to be a part of that.
I was a server for a while. I worked with a chef called Chef Tell. I don't know if you remember him.
I've heard that name, man. He's famous, man. That's great.
Yeah, he was like the first TV chef I think there ever was.
Pretty much. Him and Julia Childs, right? The man does voices. Yeah, use him for voice acting too.
Anyway, he was actually really funny, and I had a great time working with you. I'm a people person, but he was cool, and but man could cook. Oh my god, and that's when I learned how to cook myself. But he could cook.
That's
But
fantastic, man. Well, oh yeah, I did want to make mention. You did mention your girlfriend, and she has some artwork. What kind of artwork is she doing, and who is she, man? Promote the girlfriend.
I know that her name's Lisa Moranti, and if you'll in the beginning, you'll notice the brownie scene is an adult scene, but you'll see some artwork of a guitar, and she makes wall designs and she refurbishes guitars. They're like, no, they cannot be played. She takes something and she in turn creates. I could take you over there right now and show you if you. That'd be kind of, but she'd hate me. But in any case, what she does is she'll basically make a beautiful wall hanging artwork out of either violins or guitars or something. And she's in two different galleries. Prices range anywhere from I don't know 120 to 500.
That's
No, but she's got
fantastic.
really cool. What happens is the person eats the brownies, and all of a sudden it starts kicking in like. So anyway, yeah. And I just seemed like an awesome thing to start focusing on to lose your concentration in the movie. And she really is an artist. She did great, but she really is. And like I said, it went from street art to being in two different galleries. So it's cool.
Well,
You'll see it.
that's
You're like, yeah, I can
man,
see
that
why.
is excellent, and I'm glad that you have each other, man, to kind of inspire each other creatively. That the artwork with the guitars and stuff like that. I kind of like that idea. I've seen it before in different galleries. I think that's great for repurposing old, old instruments that can't be played anymore. You made them into something else. That's kind of cool. Yeah,
Yeah, like mosaic art. I think he's into it. Isaac Zakoff, I think his name is. Yeah, from Philadelphia. She does it, but it's a lot of jewel inlaid and tile inlaid into it. It's really cool. I'll send you a picture of it, but very cool artwork.
dig it, man. I appreciate that, Kevin Prentice. And you didn't mention the editor's name. You got to give credit where credit is due. That man helped you out, man. Helped you put that thing together.
Zach did a wonderful job, and so did Dave. Did both of those guys. You'll see it when they go through it. They both, like I said, two guys who I just worked with the whole film. They both equally, like I said, the editor took my film and I gave him. He took Dave's work and some of his work, and he did. Zach worked with me on the wrestling scene with Tito Santana. And that was actually very entertaining. I really almost thought I was going to get killed. No, you see the guy, and when you pissed off the man, it's like, oh man, you just really, and you're like, so and the ref has to jump in and save you. It was good. Um,
Yeah, I've
yeah,
had a very short stint with the Independent Wrestling Zone down in South Florida. Now the biggest name they had down there was Bruce Santini. He wore purple trunks like speedos, and then the Iron Sheik. No, not that Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik 2, who got permission from the Iron Sheik who passed away to carry the name and to carry the spike. And the other big name in there was Tito Puente Jr. Now I remember I was the announcer. I got into the ring in my little tuxedo and and announced everybody. And my big scene, and I know you're supposed to not supposed to say that wrestling's fake. My big scene was Tito Puente Jr. was supposed to hit me in the back with a chair, and he ended up wrestling. So I got hit in the back with a chair, and I gotta get out of here. So I know wrestling can be fun, man. A lot of fun. Man,
it was. You actually get to see what it's like to get slammed from a
that's
point of
pretty
view.
cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool. I am serious. Between that and like I said, and you actually get to see what it's like to drive the Batmobile.
That is so cool. And
Yeah,
not hey, and for those kids, that not the new Batmobile, that's the '60s Batmobile, man. That's a fantastic car.
I, my movie, you could I'm sorry, it gave me fly. I got to live and drive. I was Robin in the Batmobile. I was like, yeah, this is cool. I'm cool. I'm okay with this. You
Yes,
know.
you made a film that you want to see, and man, that is exactly what you needed to do was make a film that you wanted to see. And if you want to see it, hey, maybe somebody else will want to see it. That's how I run my radio station. I play the music I want to play. If I like it, hey, maybe somebody else will like it. There you go.
Sounds about
All right, Kevin Prentice, man, I've taken a lot of your time. The website is hattersworldthemovie.com. That's pretty much all you need to find, all the
right.
information out there. Do you have any other social media that people can find you on? Facebook, Twitter, all that other stuff?
I'm on Twitter, concussion awareness. You can find me even if you go to Hatters World. I think you'll connect to me. Concussion awareness. Um, and like I said, I really what I'd love people to do is watch my movie, but then tell their friend to watch their movie. It's seriously, my brother. Serious. You're talking about somebody lost a house. And I want you to enjoy the movie, but I want you to tell somebody else who has sports in you. It's only $5. Watch the movie tonight, man. It's a good movie. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing different. And you can't, because the virus, well, that's like awesome. And I think you have a great date night.
Yeah,
You
Kevin
know,
Prentice. The good cause is the underlying. This man in his 40s lost his house. Could you imagine? All right, I moved here. I moved from South Florida to Arkansas at 40. So I started my whole life over at 40. But I couldn't imagine having that and having seizures. My best friend in the whole world had epilepsy all through our lives. I knew him from high school till today, and he had epilepsy and seizures. But I mean, thankfully, he got a brain surgery, and no more seizures. So maybe there's hope on the horizon for your brother, man. But that all costs money, and you need to make that money off of this film to kind of help him out. I appreciate that. What a story, man.
Thank you very much. I didn't want to plug, but it's the truth, and that's kind of what I was trying to. Is each one of the pros and everybody is supposed to help share to other people that maybe they knew the guy that didn't make it to the pros or your friend that just got hurt during the way. That's kind of what my brother was. One of those guys who didn't make it. You shouldn't be punished for it.
Well, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
good cause and a good idea that you're spreading awareness about concussions, man. As people have, I mean, people think football is the only thing you're going to get concussions in, but you can get concussed in any sport, man. You get hit in the head with a baseball, hockey, of course, but you can get concussed in so many different ways, and that, man, your brain is pretty much it's you. You can get your arms and legs cut off, but as soon as your brain goes bad, then that's no more you, man. So yeah, that's a good cause to be going for, Kevin Prentice. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Because you're right. Any sport can get it, and I don't blame sports. I blame the knowledge that we didn't have. I'm trying to say I think we can still have fun, but we learn from the mistakes of others, and unfortunately, we didn't know, and this is what happened now. But let's not forget people that, in this case, my brother. So
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah, it's your way to take care of other people. All right, man. Well, usually I
Sure.
finish these things off with like last words for the people. You got any other avenues you want to explore before we close this thing up?
No, no. I just try to live myself positive. I like to say, make your own current in life, and just, don't follow others, but make your own current in life. That's pretty much it. And hopefully you watch my movie. I think you'll enjoy it, and tell your friends. And I appreciate you giving me the time to tell everybody about it. And that's about it. I appreciate it. And hopefully, give me a call in about 6 months. Hey, what's going on? And I'll tell you what's going on since then.
Well, there you have it, party people. Kevin Prentice. Oh, man, that guy has a story. And it's for a good cause. HattersWorldTheMovie.com. Look it up, man. It is action packed. I mean, I look forward to watching the film, man. He's got six, or if you look at HattersWorld.com, HattersWorldTheMovie.com, you'll see a full synopsis. A wizard and a visiting reporter wind up at a magical bar that becomes a portal to a world of entertainment and sports inside the TV. with the drunken hatter obnoxiously boasting about his universal talents. Pro pitcher Mark Leiter provides an opportunity for the braggart to prove his abilities. And that's just the beginning. That's the tip of the iceberg. That's where it all starts. Man, just follow him down the rabbit hole. See what I did there? It's kind of an Alice in Wonderland thing going on. Little theme. He builds his own world. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of people that can do that, that can build their own world. All I can do is get the stories from him. I appreciate it so much, Kevin Prentice. Hatter's World, the movie.com. Check it out. And he's also involved with Gubba Rum. And I talked to Steve Gubb. Check out his podcast on the What Makes You Famous feed, and you'll find out more about Gubba Rum. And you can have a drinky drink while you're watching the movie. How about that? All right, party people. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. If you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, radiowhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.